Hey everybody, Andy Cavernan here with another Cornerstone Connection daily devotional. There's a lot to be disappointed about these days, isn't there? How you doing with that? Maybe you're a senior in high school and you've lost the last 2 or 3 months of school, and that's hard because you had dreams of going to prom or being a part of your last sports season or going to graduation, all those things, and it seems like things just aren't shaking out like you had dreamed. And that's disappointing. Maybe you're a parent of one of those students, and that's tough. Maybe you're a business owner and you had high hopes for this year. You had great plans, a great business plan in place, and now it seems like that is all out the window and you're just trying to keep afloat, and that's disappointing. Maybe you're struggling in relationships because of the isolation that we've been experiencing, and things seem to have been going smooth, but now all of a sudden your relationship with your spouse or your kids or friends or coworkers is just going south, and that's disappointing. There's any number of things to be disappointed about these days, and all of them make a lot of sense, don't they? King David was disappointed at different parts of his life. I think he got to the end of his life, and one of his sons again tried to raise up and take the throne illegitimately, and he was disappointed. I was reading about that in First Kings this morning, chapters 1 and 2. There's a lot to be disappointed about in life, and yet David had a perspective on that disappointment that I want to share with you from Psalm 37, and I think these words will encourage you. I'm going to read verses 1 through 11, and then I'm going to bring us more in focus on verse 4. But David writes, "Fret not yourself because of evildoers. Be not envious of wrongdoers, for they will soon fade like the grass and wither like the green herb. Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and befriend faithfulness. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He'll give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in Him, and He will act. He will bring forth your righteousness as the light, and your justice as the noonday. Be still before the Lord, and wait patiently for Him. Fret not yourself over the one who prospers in his way, over the man who carries out evil devices. Refrain from anger, and forsake wrath. Fret not yourself, it tends only to evil. For the evildoers shall be cut off, but those who wait for the Lord shall inherit the land. In just a little while the wicked will be no more. Though you look carefully at his place, he will not be there. But the meek shall inherit the land, and delight themselves in abundant peace." I love David's perspective, and we see this all throughout his writings and all throughout his life, and certainly he wanes at varying points. But I love what he says, the meek shall inherit the land and delight themselves in abundant peace. We strive so hard to fix that which we're disappointed about. And I think David comes to a place where he's got a different perspective. And he's understanding that God is doing something with his disappointment. And I think we can take on that perspective. I want you to notice what David writes here in Psalm 37:4. He says, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He'll give you the desires of your heart." We love to think about God giving us the desires of our heart to fix our disappointment. But David is really clear as he writes here in the first part of that verse. He says, "Delight yourself in the Lord." And often what God is doing in the midst of our disappointment is He's asking us to let Him shape our hearts for the things that He values. In fact, to shape our hearts for Him. Delight yourself in the Lord. And it's amazing, when the Lord shapes our hearts for Him, then He fills our circumstances with that which fits that shape, that shape of what the Lord is doing in our hearts. But we need to delight in the Lord first. And so my challenge for you today is, if you're disappointed, ask God to fill your heart full of Himself. Ask God to help you to delight in Him. And then watch Him change your heart and your circumstances to fit around what He is doing and who He is. God bless you, friends. Hang in there. We can trust God in these days, and He'll see us through. God bless you, and see you soon.